Now let's move into advanced features for both our project and our various tasks. So first off, let's look at views that we have available for our project. When you're just starting out within Asana, the easiest views to use are the list view here, the board view, the calendar view, and a dashboard view. We've already covered the list view a lot in previous videos, so I'm not going to focus a whole lot on this. This is Asana's default view, is this list view. I'm going to go ahead and cover the board view first. So this board view is really, really useful because it functions like a Kanban board. One important thing that you have to understand is if you're going to use a board view and you're going to adapt that specific view, you might have to make a project just for a board view. So what I'm saying here is how we currently have the sections set up, while they're completely fine for a list view, we wouldn't want to use these same sections for a Kanban board view or a board view. Because what we're doing with a board view is logically the work should flow from left all the way to right. So what that means is our furthermost sections on the left need to be something like backlog or to do, and then we need a in progress or a getting started section. And finally, we'll have something like a review section and something like a done section or completed section. In this case, because of the way that we set this project up, this isn't the best example of a board view, but I'm going to go over board views and specifically Kanban board views later in this course. But for now, let's look at our calendar view here. Our calendar view is great no matter how we have things set up because we can see our tasks based on due dates. So for example, on Tuesday, November 18th, we can see we have 4 different tasks due within this project. That makes it very, very powerful. And we can also change it from weeks here to months as well if we want an even larger view. And this is great because we can see here all of the different tasks that we have due not only for this week and next week, but also for the next few months. I can go out and I can move to the next month and the next month after that. So you can really start to plan out your work very, very long term with this calendar view. The last view I'm going to show you here is one that we're going to have to add the dashboard. And in order to add a new view, I'm going to go ahead and click on the add button here or the add tab, which is this plus button like this. Now, what I can do is I can go ahead and add our dashboard style of view. So let's go ahead and click dashboard just like this. And then from there, you can see this dashboard view automatically populates with these different settings. By default, when you're just starting out, I recommend sticking with these settings because you'll be able to see the total amount of completed tasks in your project, the total amount of incomplete tasks, any overdue tasks, any total tasks, tasks completed by section, which is really great, tasks by completion status, so whether they're completed or incomplete, total upcoming tasks by assignee, and task completion over time. You can also add different widgets here, which allow you to expand the different types of views. We're not really going to cover that too much because this is more of a beginner look at Asana, but the default dashboard view, it's absolutely great, and it can help you manage your project from a high level. One thing I wanted you to note here is when you're in these dashboard views and the list view and the board view and the calendar view, no matter what view you're using, this is a view for this project. That means that this view that we're seeing is only pertaining to this specific project. If we wanted to see data for another project, like for example, you can see here we have this other project. If I open this up, you can see here that we have to go through and we have to look at it again from a completely different perspective. This project that we created for this course, this is very, very simple. This is very basic. But if we wanted to go out and look at another completely separate, different project, we would go to that project, we would add the different views through here. For example, if I wanted a calendar view, I would add that. And then I would also add something like the dashboard view. These are the main views that I use for all my projects, but just understand that these views pertain only to the project that you're working on. So you have to navigate out if you want to check another project and then manually go to the different types of views. There isn't necessarily within one project an ability to look at all other projects. You can do that from the homepage, but that's not what we're looking for as far as views from our project here. That's exactly how we can start to implement different views within our Asana projects, configure different fields, and apply different types of rules or automation directly to our Asana projects. These are more intermediate to advanced, so don't feel pressured to do any of these at all, but just keep in mind, especially with our views, these are incredibly useful as we start progressing and becoming more advanced within Asana.